Join JJ and Alex tomorrow at Doug Smith Mitsubishi, 485 West Main Street in American Fork, right off the freeway. No one knows Mitsubishi like Doug. The NBA fines the Jazz $100,000 for failing to play Lauri Markkanen. What do you got to say on this one? Now, in the last segment, you were just talking about no one, except the most hardcore Finnish basketball fans, is circling Jazz games on the calendar to go see Lauri Markkanen. Dan posts, like there are thousands of Markkanen fans in Memphis or Boston, heartbroken, telling their crying 8-year-olds wearing number 23 jerseys that even though they saved for months, circled the day on the calendars, eagerly anticipating the night they could finally see their beloved Utah team led by the finisher hero take the floor. Their dreams are dashed. He went on and on.
Yeah.
So if he's not a star player, it's okay. No one cares. Kevin does. Good. Fans pay money to see players play. Jeffrey, good. They all should be playing. Anthony, the Jazz deserve the fine. I loathe sitting healthy players. A lot of Jazz fans.
Then fine them all, then. Don't pick out the one guy who's going 56 miles an hour when everybody else is. I mean, what's your opinion? I gave you mine. I brought mine.
I don't think they really care. I think they do this to make a show, the league. I mean, they can find them more for $100,000, and I know the next time it's $250,000, and I think the next time it's supposed to be $1 million. But even $1 million to a multi-billionaire, if you want Cooper Flagg bad enough, it doesn't matter. I think they have to change the rules. Put all the lottery teams in, which is how the lottery started. All the lottery teams had equal chances. And at that point, why dump games? Maybe you dump games to miss the play-in.
Well, you'll always miss games. There'll always be teams tanking. There's never going to be a guarantee unless you went bold and everybody gets an equal chance. I mean, I don't understand why they don't do that.
Because teams will feel like it's hopeless. We're never gonna get better.
How do you know?
I don't know, and neither would the teams.
Personally. How does anybody know? Why would you think that? You would think so lousy of your scouting department that we suck so bad we're never going to get any better. Why would you think that? Not you personally. What would compel you to think that? We're just so bad as talent evaluators that we're not going to get any better. That makes no sense to me.
You'd hit so rarely on being in the top third. I mean, let's assume once out of every 3 years.
Well, you can assume whatever you want. So what? Jokic was a second-round pick.
The math suggests yes, and you can get lucky. But I think that's why they do it. So they have hope to sell. Otherwise, there's not as much hope to sell.
Hope is not a real thing.
It isn't, yet nonetheless people sell it.
Hope is nothing, as Dr. Laura says, delayed disappointment. If you build your life on hope, you're going nowhere. Hope is nothing.
How much Dr. Laura do you listen to?
Hours. A little Italian from Brooklyn. You'd better believe I listen.
Shutting people down and dashing their dreams?
No, telling
how
the
it
truth.
Really is. Yeah, telling
Don't
how
give
it
me
really is.
hope. You want to make yourself better? Get off the couch and go make yourself better. It can be done. I'm a living example.
Larry, they let every other team sit players for no reason, but they're going to fine the Jazz? That seems a little funny.
Yeah. What do you think is worth fining the Jazz? Do they deserve to be fined?
Oh, yeah, they've absolutely been sitting guys who've been healthy.
That's not the question. Do they deserve to be fined?
Yeah, that's why I used the word absolutely. Yes.
Well, absolutely, they've been sitting guys.
Absolutely, they've been sitting guys.
They're the only team in the league that has been sitting guys.
Other teams might deserve to be fined. I've been following everybody else's lineup.
Where have you been the last 10 years?
Who's San Antonio been sitting? Or who's
David Robinson to get Tim Duncan? It's the same league. I don't care that it was 20 years ago. Well, it doesn't matter. It's the same principle. No, it doesn't.
They just started fining teams 2 years ago, so they can't retroactively fine people 20 years ago.
They allowed it to happen.
They did. Yeah.
So they could have. It was not like Congress created a rule, thou must fine teams starting in 22-23. They ignored it. the other way. It's the same thing with steroids. They knew it was happening, and they allowed it to happen. They're responsible for allowing it to happen. They created the system that dictates you do this. So they are responsible. You want to bust a penny-ante drug dealer dealing an ounce of marijuana on the corner. Meanwhile, I got drug lords over here, and you're ignoring it. Come on.
Do you think the Nets are doing it right now? Do you think the Wizards and Hornets are shutting down healthy players right now?
Yes. All the Wizards did was give away Kuzma. So if that's not shutting down healthy players, I don't know what is.
That's trade. That's different, and you know it.
It's the same principle.
It's still different, and you know it.
In your mind, I'm sure it is.
Nice.
I'm not going to argue with you on that. If
of
you
course
want,
you are.
I'm
you
not.
Absolutely are.
Don't put it on me. Fine. It's why we're the number one show. Put it on me, baby. I'll take it. It's coming to me either way, so I might as well accept it. I mean, there's all sorts of ways to get crappier. Yeah, absolutely. They're all doing it. I've got a bleeding body, and I put a Band-Aid on it. Good. That just solved it. That'll teach them a lesson. The lesson is the system is created to get top players, and this is the way you can do it. And the Jazz have lost 2 top players that wanted out in Hayward and Mitchell. Everybody around here is scarred. And so this is one way to try to get better and give yourselves at least a modicum of chance to compete at the highest level. And I don't blame them. I would do the same thing.
And David says, do it again. I want to see him play. So he wants the NBA to just keep finding the Jazz for marketing.
What do you mean? I thought he wanted to see him play.
He wants to see him play. I think there's plenty of people who are thinking, and I think he's going to sit again. And will they be risking a $250,000 fine? Yeah, I suppose they will. And
play him 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
Run him out there in the first half, call it good.
Then
they can lose
what
the
else
game.
Are you going to do?
They can lose the game at the end.
Take your nose, take your fingers, your hand, put your thumb on your nose, and wiggle your fingers. Right back at you, league. Yeah, what are you going to do now?
Vernon says the Jazz are obviously tanking. Play him or trade him. The fans should get their money's worth, and the players get paid to not sit on the bench.
If you bought season tickets this year or you bought any game tickets and you're surprised on this, you're the fool.
Could have been listening to us. We told you.
Could have been opening your eyes.
Put 2 and 2 together.
You
Look
put
at the
1 and
standings.
0 together. You don't even need to go to 4. It's as blatant as can be. Look at the roster. I mean, this has been going on for years. My criticism of them is they took too long to get to this point. Should have been doing it for the last 2 years.
But they were chasing some wins and an All-Star Game appearance for Markkanen 2 years ago.
And what did that get you?
No chance at Wembayama.
Got you the 9th pick or the 10th pick, whatever it was.
And even if you couldn't get Wembayama, maybe you could have, drafted in the top 4 and gotten Thompson instead of having him go to Houston.
Yeah. So here they are. This is what they're doing. The league tries all these things, and I give them credit for trying, but none of them are working. The play-in game, the All-Star game, the in-season tournament, And meanwhile, hockey over here hits it out of the park.
Guys are playing. That was a physical game last night. Guys are just crashing into each other, checking each other into the boards. There were plenty of guys mixing it up.
Yeah, what do they do in hockey? I have no idea on the draft. I'm not going to pretend I know all things to all people. I have no clue how they create the draft. Is there a lottery? I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know if they have a draft lottery.
Yeah.
Theirs is more similar to the old NBA model where it goes inverse, like kind of like what the NFL does.
So,
it's just worst record. And,
Yeah. All I turn on the TV and watch there, and they're all, hey, if you don't believe in our sport, something's wrong. There was something to that effect that Bill Armstrong said earlier in the year. which is a funny quote. And here you got guys, and what? Let's try to divert the story by wearing headbands. What the hell was that?
No idea. I didn't get that.
And they look like gauze bands. Wear a headband.
Jason makes a good point here. He says Ryan is paying A.J. DeBonsa more than that to play high school basketball in Utah.
He says he's not.
Okay. The point is Ryan spent a lot of money on him playing. In college.
The guy sold his company for $8 billion. Money's not an issue.
So
we
$100 grand,
that.
$100,000 doesn't matter.
That's not the point.
It partly is the point.
No,
because
it's not.
Yeah, it is. You just said they're putting a Band-Aid on it. This is clearly a Band-Aid.
No,
the
fine. So fine him $5 million. It's still a Band-Aid. The money is irrelevant. These people are obscenely loaded. He owns a house, a freaking Pebble Beach. What's the difference? It's not about the money here. I couldn't care less about how much they have to pay.
And by the way, corrections and retractions, the NHL does have a lottery now.
It does have. That is corrections and retractions.
There you go.
All right, that's what they're going to put on my autobiography.
Corrections and retractions?
Yes.
Okay.
I've now found the title. Thank you.
Corrections and retractions by Patrick Kinahan.
Yes, the
By
life.
Patrick J. Kinahan.
The sorrowful, troubled life and tangled life. Corrections and retractions. Regrets. I have 20 million.
Thanks, Frank.
Yeah, I don't. The amount of fine, I couldn't care less about.
Band-Aid.
The principle of fining because you're doing this—that's the point. The fine. Yeah, we get it.
So in all seriousness, do you think they should have, because the Wizards did trade Kuzma away, should they have done what they did with the Chris Paul trade when he was traded from New Orleans to the Lakers, and the NBA office said, no deal, back to your team?
Chris Paul is a Hall of Fame player. I would never compare Kyle Kuzma to Chris Paul.
Okay, but it's the league canceling the trade and saying that trade's not happening. I'm not comparing the player's talent and saying, not doing that. But nonetheless, they could cancel the trade. They have canceled trades before.
Fine. I don't care. I care about the Jazz. I cancel it, do whatever. If you think they should cancel it, great. I don't. Where'd he go to? Milwaukee?
Mm-hmm.
He's not that good.
Right.
But he was their best player over here.
Yep.
That's the point. They traded their best player to suck even more. That's the point. It says, I don't think he's going to make that much of a difference with Milwaukee. So, no, I wouldn't have canceled it because it doesn't matter. The principle is you traded your best player. That's the point.
Leroy, go pound sand, NBA. There are Jazz fans who are disappointed in this. Nick, seriously, they'll let everyone else tank, but not us. Don't sit the All-Star. Sit everybody else. You're not getting fined for John Collins and Colin Sexton and Walker Kessler sitting.
I actually think Collins is better than Markkanen this year.
Oh, this year? Yeah. Yeah, I can totally see why you say that.
I really respect his game. I respect his professionalism. I respect his attitude. I respect everything about him. And we saw that Sexton was all hot and bothered, and he goes over towards the bench. Who goes and gets him is John Collins. I have enormous respect. I'm a John Collins fan.
He knew what was coming this year, and we talked to him at Media Day, and he couldn't have been more impressive.
Right.
And when he's been allowed to play, he's been great. He's had to sit a bunch.
He's that
not his choice, but when he's played,
classic proverbial pros pro. There's no doubt about it. I would love to see him on this team when it got better.
Probably not going to happen, but you'd love to see it nonetheless.
I would. Yeah. And if he gets moved, I hope he gets moved to a team that's in contention because I think he can bring a lot. I'm a huge fan of his.
DJ PK, it's 97.5 The Zone. Travis Hansen's going to join us in about 45 minutes to talk Big 12 basketball, but we're not going to wait for him. We'll do that coming up. Stay with us. DJ and PK, it's 97.5 The Zone.